If you have the Momcozy S9 Pro and you're wondering how to use this wearable breast pump, then stick around as I am going to walk you through the different components that make up the Momcozy S9 Pro, how to assemble it, as well as how to use the Momcozy S9 Pro. And if you love this video, please subscribe to the channel. It really does help. So let's dive on in. Now let's pull this one apart and have a look at what are all the different components, and then we will also look at how to reassemble it. So it is pretty straightforward. There is only the 6 different parts. You have the pump motor, so this is what drives the pump. You have the collection container, collection cup. Now I love that this has your measuring units on it, so it goes up to 6 Oz. You have your flange. Now this is sometimes also called a breast shield, and it can be a little bit confusing if you are a first time pumper, because you also get included a flange, and so sometimes these are interchangeable. I like to call this a breast shield with the flange, so then you can determine which is which. You then have your diaphragm, you have your linker, and then you have your duckbill valve. So let's look at putting this all together. First step is you're going to want to attach the diaphragm to the top of the linker. Now when you're doing this, just make sure you are pressing around the rim so you are getting a great secure seal. Next step is to attach the valve to the bottom of the linker. And again, we are just going to want to make sure it's lined up and that you are getting a nice secure seal. Once you have done that, you are then going to want to put the linker, completed linker, into your collection cup. And there's a nice little, I don't know if you can see it super well, but there's down here, there's a little click connector, so you can just push it in to make sure that you've got it aligned. You are going to want the linker and the valve to be at the back of the cup, and that is so when you attach your breast shield, it goes into the linker and that there is plenty of room. So you are just going to want to then attach that, push that down at the flange, and then again around the edge. Now this one's a bit tricky. It does have a really secure seal. I find that you almost need to lift the silicone shield over until you get this click, and then you just push all the way around until you get a nice secure fit. Now this will help with the suction, so if you don't have a nice secure fit, you might find that your pump is not working as well in terms of suction, or you're not getting the output. So that's definitely one tip I recommend if you're finding that you're having a little bit of trouble with the suction, to have a look and make sure that all your parts are secure. And then the last part is the motor, and that just simply clicks on to the top. Now you'll want to turn on your pump to make sure that it is functioning. So you hold in the power for a long hold, and then you can hear it, and it is sucking away. So if we were now to look at how to use this pump, so you saw me switch it on, and again you just hold down the power button for a few seconds to turn it on and off. Now there are 2 different modes, and you can switch between these by pressing this recycle button. Now the heart is for your massage or your stimulation and your let down. So this is the initial phase that you're going to want to have your pump on, and then you can change it after to the droplet, which is the stimulation mode, and this basically mimics the sucking motion of your baby. It's a little bit slower and longer of a suction. Now you have the different plus and minus buttons here. Now these allow you to adjust your suction strength. So you can see that it was already on a 9. Now this has a memory recall, so it will go to your last suction strength. You can again switch and increase or decrease your suction strength depending on what mode you're on. Now this LED screen is quite straightforward. So you have your modes which you're on, your suction strength, and then you also have your battery. Now the white, when it is white and filled in, that is how much battery you have. So you can see I'm about 75%. When it gets down lower, you are going to want to recharge this so you have it available when you need it. The recharge is a USB cord and it plugs into here. Then when you are wanting to use your pump, so you are going to want to align the flange with your nipple, and so it will go straight up and be upright. You don't want it to be tilted or going upside down. You are going to end up with leaks. So ideally you line this up. My biggest tip is making sure that you have the correct flange and nipple size. If you have a too large or too small, you're going to end up quite uncomfortable and potentially causing damage, which is definitely not recommended. What I love about Momcozy is they actually give you a nipple measuring tool so you can easily line up what sizing flange you will need. Now, I also love that they do come with a packet of different sizes so you can adjust and find the size that you need. When or if you do need to grab a smaller or larger flange size, you simply just push it in until it's got a nice secure fit. If you are, so I should say, the base of this is a 24 millimeter. So if you are then wanting, this is a 17 millimeter, and that actually didn't have a nice secure fit. You need to go down in your sizing. So the next one would be a 21 millimeter. So I will push that in first to get the nice secure, it's attacked my finger, the nice secure fit. And then if I need to then go smaller to a 19 millimeter, I'm going to stack these. So let me find the 19. Of course, it's the one right at the bottom. Here's my 19. So then I'm just going to stack these so I continue to get a nice secure fit in the flange size. Sometimes it can be a bit tricky to get in. And so once that's in, if you then need to go slightly smaller, you can. Otherwise, alternatively, I would look at getting a smaller breast shield if you need to go right down to a 17, so you're not stacking up all your flange inserts. Reasoning is it's just more washing every time and just more parts to deal with. Once you have collected all your milk, so you will turn your pump off. If for some reason you need during your session, you can lightly tap and that will pause your pump. You again unpress, just a short tap, and that will resume your pumping session. Once you're finished your pumping session, you turn your pump off, you lean forward slightly so you don't get any spillage, and you will need to push your finger in between your nipple and the pump to slowly release the suction. You don't want to just pull this off and take your nipple with it, because that will not be very comfortable. And once you have done that and it is off, you take your pump off. You can see that there is a pouring spout on the top of this, and you can simply pour your milk into your storage container. Once you're finished, you will need to wash all of the different parts that have come into contact with the milk. You want to leave your pump away from the cleaning. I highly recommend you pop it on to charge so it's ready for your next use. And then you want to disassemble your pump, pull all the part pieces that you have used apart, and then wash and sterilize those. Hope this video helps. If you have any questions, please leave a comment and I will try answer them the best I can. Thanks.